Welcome back. This is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso, here on S3. Happy Friday to you if you've just joined us, and I wonder where you've been all morning long. We've been having so much fun. And right now, time for us to delve into something of critical importance, I would say. We can't look into the future without reflecting on our past. And the Khoekhoe Saga, which recently premiered on SABC2, tells the untold story of the Khoekhoe herders, one of South Africa's first nations. Now, the documentary explores the history and cultures of the Khoekhoe people, an indigenous community of South Africa, which was previously thought to have been eradicated by colonialism. And today we catch up with presenter Jolene Martin, who serves as a guide throughout the Khoekhoe Saga. Let's give her a feel-good Expresso welcome. Celebrations, ululations all around. Yes. Do you know that you're the first guest who, when I've said that, actually has responded to that?
To the ululation?
Yes.
What you don't know is that the ululating actually comes from the Khoi.
No. Well,
You're welcome.
well. Thank you very much for that. And thank you for joining us this morning so early to continue this journey that you've been on for quite some time.
Yeah.
Because, yes, the show has recently premiered on SABC2, which is absolutely fantastic. But this has been an ongoing journey for you for not an insignificant amount of time. Tell me about where it started for you and why you felt it was so important to tell these particular stories.
So you're absolutely right. First of all, thank you. Thank you to everyone for having us here. Thank you for the opportunity to talk about this incredibly important subject matter. And the journey goes so far back that I don't even want to say we can remember it, because I believe that everybody who was chosen for this team was ancestrally appointed. So it goes back way further than we like to think. But in terms of research, and I want to acknowledge our director, Johan Abrams, he was an investigative, he's an award-winning investigative journalist. So the amount of work that he's done is probably his lifetime. And then we're talking about other people that we've interviewed, Professor Nigel Penn, Ron Martin, huge players in the history and archaeology space. It's their life's work. So this research has been coming on for a very long time. I just only stepped in about 10 years ago, or just under 10 years ago. And I think for me, the motivation of getting involved was I knew that my history and my heritage laid within the Khoi somewhere. I had no proof. And then I went and did my DNA ancestry test.
Which revealed?
Which revealed I'm Khoi.
Wow.
I'm a legitimate descendant of the Khoi. And so therefore being involved in this project was a no-brainer.
My goodness, and what a revelation that must have been for you personally, and what a trajectory that must have sent you on. And I wondered to myself that with, armed with that knowledge and those tools, what did you learn and what did you discover along the way?
That's such a layered question, Kat. And I can't talk about what I learned on this project without referencing what I learned in high school. And I think that's going to be the predominant feeling for South Africans as they watch this, which has proven to be so in my engagement with them on social media, is people cannot believe that this history has been neglected for so long. To some degree, it's been kept from us for certain reasons. The whys come up, the resentment comes up, all these emotions come up. Yeah, it was difficult for me in high school, because in high school, history has got this one image of the Khoi being really lowly, humble people, and the explorers being these majestic figures in their hats and their feathers and their boots and a flag. And you think to yourself, this was Khoi, man. I want to be like that. I don't want to be part of the other guys, right?
Yes, yes.
But then I also studied history in high school. And in history of art, they take us back to rock art. So I was seeing this disparity. You're saying that history in this country started in 1652, but in history of art, there were inhabitants that were here way before then. So that drove me to research rock art, and I've been to the Drakensberg, the Cederberg, and so forth, to put the pieces together for myself. So that was filling in the gaps for me. Now working on this project fills in the gaps for everyone, but on a much larger scale.
That's beautiful.
On a much larger scale. And as you were saying, we can't know where we're going unless we refer to where we've come from. There's a great quote, and I mentioned this yesterday, and it says that history repeats itself for those who are unwilling to learn from it. And every time history repeats itself, the price goes up. It's deep. That's why people need to watch this documentary series.
Well, allow that to sink in for a moment. And while you do that, set your calendar reminders for Sunday, 9 p.m. on SABC2. The show is called The Khoekhoe Saga. We'll be chatting some more with Jolene very shortly.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
We're back again on this Friday morning, and we're talking SABC2's Khoekhoe Saga documentary series with presenter Jolene Martin. Let's take a sneak peek at what you can expect. So these are some of the images that you'll see, which depict absolutely stunning destinations that I'm sure you had to traverse over mountains and hills and bush to get to. Could you maybe just take us through some of the highlights of your travels on this journey to tell this very important story, Jolene?
Oh, Kat's highlight. Where do I start? The
Where do
entire
you
thing was a
start?
massive highlight. It was a journey of discovery, a journey of getting to know myself, a journey of appreciating this beautiful country we live in. And as presenters, that's Rihanna, my co-presenter. We needed 2 presenters because this was a mammoth task. But we literally followed the footsteps of the Khoi and the Sun from beyond the Garib River right down the west coast into Western Cape Town as we know it. I must teach you how to say that. Oh, well done. That's the original name for Cape Town.
Wow.
Into the Eastern Cape. We have traversed this country inside and out. And this Sunday, we will have episode 3, which is going to be my journey up the west coast. And we're going to be introducing people to the mighty Khoekhoe clan. Oh, these people are no joke.
Khoekhoe.
Khoekhoe. They are just mighty in stature, a proud warrior nation, and they led some of the first rebellions against the settlers for simple things. And this is the exciting thing about history and why history must come alive and why we need a new history for the future, is because history as it is fairly outdated. It's a bit boring. I yawned all the way during history class.
Same.
But this history,
Yes.
this history is breathing, it's living, and it's relevant. And the Khoekhoe, they are on the west coast, as I've mentioned. And we go further up into Namaqualand, and I must say, you speak about highlights, and I had the honor of doing the Namakwa leg. And Heritage Day 2017 was a monstrously horrible day for me. I had no idea who I was. It was a dehumanizing day in terms of the experiences I had that day. And then, by the grace of God, 2018, I spent Heritage Day with Johan and the crew in the most rural parts of Namakwaland. And I had my first Heritage Day, knowing who I am culturally, getting to do the real dance. There was no electricity, by firelight. And we were kicking up dust and watching the dust fly up and then watching the moon just sort of light through different parts of the dust. And you're swept up into this world where time doesn't exist, and you go, oh, this is what my ancestors did. This to them was TV at night, making the sort of bird shadows in the firelight and the smell of meat braaiing on the fire and children laughing and dancing. Heritage Day 2018 was unreal, and that is why we can't let parents miss an opportunity to excite their children about their history and their culture, because all of this pride and joy wells up inside of you when you know who you are and you celebrate meaningfully.
Oh my goodness. I could listen to you talking about this for days.
Oh,
on
thank
end.
you.
I hope you're writing a book or something.
I hope
to that
Johanna's writing a
effect.
book, but hopefully the documentary does something.
And I'm sure it will. I was captured by when you said the word Khoekhoe, the way that you said it. There's something about language for me that impacts the deepest recesses of our minds because it speaks emotion, it speaks psychology, it speaks to so many parts of ours. And I wonder from a linguistic point of view whether you were, you delved into that a little bit throughout your journey and perhaps discovered something that you might not have known before and something that you now live with even more pride as you go forward.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Linguistics is such an important part of this documentary, and it's one of the pillars that support the research, because sometimes that's all we have to go on. And you said, Khoekhoe Saga so beautifully. And that is the name of this place that we're in. And Khoekhoe is the name of the mountain right there. Khoekhoe, that was the original name for Table Mountain.
Wow.
Yes, our ancestors had names for everything we see before the other languages arrived.
You know, as you say that, the thought just occurred to me right now that we have a company, let's say like Disney, right? And they take a story of a tribe somewhere out in the Pacific in Hawaii, and they have this character called Moana of Motunui, and they create this story around it, and it goes viral. We worship it, we love it. Isn't it time that we started doing something similar like that for our stories and start tell the story of the Khoekhoe and the...
Absolutely. You're absolutely correct, and I know you can feel it.
Yeah, it's
because
there,
what we're feeling is history changing. This is historic. Nothing short of historic. We're feeling history change. And you talk about these icons of history, right? But before this documentary, I couldn't answer the question, who were our first defenders of South Africa? Not of the Khoi, not of the so-called colored. Who were South Africa's first defenders? I learned about the heroes. Doman, Gonema, there was Krotoa, Sarah Bartman. All of these people, and there is a staggering amount of these heroes and heroines. And on Sunday, in a Sunday's episode, you'll learn of some more. Chief Klapmuts, so many.
Look at those wonderful images. Sunday, 9 p.m. on SABC2, the Khoekhoe Saga. Jolene, thank you very much. You are a gift, and this body of work is a prize part of our heritage.
Thank you.